Hello and welcome to another virtual mentorship session. Um, Today I will be speaking to Dr. Jude Osamor. He is a lecturer in cybersecurity in Scotland, and he's also um, a co-founder of CyberOdane, a cybersecurity startup using machine learning techniques to detect malicious emails. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your time. It's good to have you here. And I'll just let you you know, properly introduce yourself.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. Today, the very big. Yeah, my name is Jude Osamor. I'm currently a lecturer in cybersecurity with Glasgow Caledonian University. Sorry, it looks as if my faces are everywhere because I have multiple screens. Um, I started up within stock. Currently, you know, building up a startup at the moment that will be able to help, you know, solve most of the pertinent problems that I have encountered on the job. So, you know, relating to email security a lot of times, I realized that someone who works within stock 7 to 8 percent of the time we are solving problems around, people clicking on something. So yeah, and that was where the idea of the startup anyway started very beginning. So that's what I'm currently building right now. And that is it about me at the moment.
Nice. So, why and how did you get into cybersecurity in the first place?
Okay. The why question is important because I think it boils down to the fact that a lot of people delve into that career path now because it's thriving, it's booming, it's lucrative. But on the other side, you realize that you really actually need a level of perseverance and endurance, to keep going in the field. In as much as we know that money is a very key motivator. For me, I just, you know, stumbled across the career path one day from one of my colleagues. He was just, talking about cybersecurity. I'm like, okay, what the hell is this thing? And I began to listen, and I said, the first thing I told him was, to be able to do well in this career path, you must really think like the bad guy. The guy looked at me like this. Never heard anybody say this before. Is this something you want to take a closer look at? And truthfully speaking, I've even gone really deeper than him, in this part right now. So, so yeah, that was how the career path of cybersecurity started for me. I delved into
What were
one
you doing
different,
before then?
yeah, geosciences. Because I studied geoscience. My first degree was in petroleum engineering. Master's was in systems engineering. Doctoral program PhD was in geosciences. So, cybersecurity wasn't it, but it's just that along the line, I was doing some tech-related adventures. I was working within, you know, security operations for organizations within my 20-hour limit um, while I was still a student there. So, and it became a full-blown career path. It became high in demand during the lockdown. Then I realized that,
Yeah.
wow, this thing is a very big thing. I never knew it was just, most times organizations or people have different things they call security. Even though they might not call it cybersecurity, they could just call it one, you know, IT, whatever there. So yeah, that was how the interest in security started for me. Pro now, if I didn't study petroleum engineering, I probably would have studied computer science or computer engineering because my dad, you know, your parents do things about you that you probably never even knew you had. One day he called me then when I was about to do jam. He said, I know oil is something that is booming, but I don't think you should do something computer related because there's the way your savvy nature, you know, becomes very, very crystal clear when you are dealing with computers. Really? Yeah, computer engineering. But then, we as young people, we don't know that sometimes when our parents give us some of this advice, there are certain things they see that you cannot obviously see with your eyes. So yeah, and that was it for me really. And now realize, okay, maybe I should have even studied computer science a long time ago because this whole lecturing cybersecurity is so like natural for me. I don't struggle with it. I recall when I was in my interview. In fact, the interview was like, "Sorry, what did you study?" That was the first question she asked. You were in the wrong department. That was her word. You look like you studied the wrong course. Because after I did that presentation before I got the job as an academic, So it was something I could naturally do. Computing was something that was there from the onset. So it's always advisable, for people to always, have that flair. But however, cybersecurity is broad. There are different areas in which even your personality traits, you can actually create a need for yourself in cybersecurity. It's a very interestingly unique computing career path, if there's anything I would say. A career path that is cut across different sectors that you can attach it to something and it would make meaning. I've never seen a career path like that in my life. It was in cybersecurity I saw that you can create something and just attach a cybersecurity affiliation to it, and it would make so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I remember when we were discussing about, cybersecurity in agriculture, right?
Exactly.
And like it's something I don't know
Yeah,
about you, but I had never thought about it like
sort
that
of,
until the day we had that conversation.
with
And it made so
conversation,
much
and it
sense.
doesn't make
Like
sense.
there was like overlapping areas, and even
Yeah,
going online, you'll see. I saw some research papers that had already been written about it. Applying cybersecurity techniques in precision
see,
agriculture. I'm like, wow, this is
look,
this,
look at that.
this is something
It's a
else.
very unique career path. Unique, It's
Yeah,
something that people will still continue to explore for God knows how long.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. So, did you at some point switch career paths within cybersecurity since you started?
Okay. To be honest, I worked in sectors where some of the career paths were not clearly defined until now when we began to have, oh, this is pen test. It was after a while during the job interview I realized, okay, what I was doing was pen testing. I didn't know. You know, Somehow we find ourselves, interwoven and actually doing some of those responsibilities.
Yeah,
You see
you're
yourself on
basically
lineup.
doing everything at that point.
Yeah, literally, and for different organizations, especially for bigger companies where, like national, I remember there was National Grid. There was this, you realize that they had SOC in different spheres that were really big and their rules were defined. In fact, the SOC 1 thing can be really large. SOC 2, Tier 2 can be really, Tier 3 can be large. Those in threat hunting, instead those in pen testing, they have a very big department. And I'm like, wow. So, but then there are some smaller organizations you find yourself, you realize that you're doing literally everything.
Yeah, and it's not
You know,
necessarily like a smaller organization. Sometimes there might be big organizations,
it's
but with very small security teams,
security
and you
teams,
find yourself
exactly.
in that situation. It's like
Perfect,
they
perfect.
call you a security engineer, but you're doing a lot of things. You're doing everything.
Yeah,
I
really
mean,
ticket.
there's advantages to that as well.
Yeah,
You get the chance to, especially
exposure.
if that's your first role, get
Yeah,
get that exposure exactly to different areas, and then it gives you a clearer view when it's time to
exactly,
specialize, or if you even want to
exactly,
specialize. You might decide,
exactly,
okay, I'm going into management now.
exactly.
Um, so yeah, what advice do you have for people just getting started? I'm learning cybersecurity now. I'm doing a course. I'm just starting to apply for my first job. What advice do you have for people like that?
Well, to be honest, I'm quite worried about the way the career path is structured, in the sense that you barely would find an entry level position. I think this has been a concern. I mean, if you check LinkedIn a lot of time, you see arguments, flowing around, conversations around, organizations not willing to hire entry level positions in that career path. And again, if you look at it, not every organization even know how to even create a career path for entry level positions, because a lot a lot of the time it is your skill on the job that actually gives you that position and keeps you in that position. So it's a unique career path where you are not literally learning how to do certain things, but you are learning on your own. Nobody's sitting you down to say you must know how to do this. This is how to do this. You're literally learning on the go. Even the guys who are experts in codes are still learning,
Yeah,
because it's a career path where I would say it's a dribbling career path. The guys who keep you on the job are the guys who decide to break into organizations and breach, their security framework. So if those guys didn't actually breach it, you would not actually have money to smile to the bank for. Or what are you even protecting if those guys don't hack into systems? So that's one unique thing about that career path. And again, the fact that you're even trying to create an enabling environment to make an environment safe or protect the environment or whatever it is, or network of a particular organization. So this guy's actually thinking of another way to, make whatever effort you're putting in place futile. So it's a very dribbly career path. So that's why you realize that there's really no one way of doing things. There's really
Yeah.
no, like in Yoruba, they'll say one way did not lead to the market or something like that. But there's no way. You can't say you finish learning how to be a stock analyst
Yeah.
because there's always one dimension of how things are becoming on the long run. So I guess that's the problem a lot of organizations are having in clearly creating that career path and finding people that are suitable to fit into some of all these roles in itself, talk less of even creating an entry level position for them. But then,
Yeah.
for people who are interested in breaking into that career path, I think it's about just creating a need for yourself for any career path within security that you find very fascinating to be part of. Learn as much within that. Don't delve into different areas. Like within that career path, stay within it. Learn as much as if it's stock you want to do, just dwell within stock. Grow within stock. Position yourself in such a way that you can, make yourself available for opportunities like that within stock. I've realized a lot of people reach out and okay, how do I break in? It's usually a problem. But
Yeah.
then where are you currently working right now? What do you do for them? Even if they don't have a security team, can you guys create something? If you're not even working within the IT team or whatever, see how you can pitch your tent there and start your career path within that sector. Then it becomes easy to now say you want to go somewhere else. Because that's
Yeah.
usually one of the most difficult problems. And I would say it's one of the easiest way to break in. Once you can pitch a tent somewhere that has the security, whatever, grow your, horizon in that capacity, and with that you can soar, so high. Because the truth is, once you already have a foundation, it's easy to, navigate toward that career path within that career cybersecurity sector.
Yeah. That's a very that's a very good point you made there. I mean, your dissection of the problem and then your analysis of what to do as an entry level person in cybersecurity. You don't always have to like apply to different companies. I mean, I would still recommend applying, but it makes sense to
When you start
where are
somewhere.
you currently? What can you offer to them? What have you learned that you can apply where you currently are? People need to know that you are interested in this. People need to know that you have these skills, and something might come even if it doesn't come up immediately. Something might come up eventually that they'll remember that, oh, this guy said this guy is interested in security. He can help us do something. And then when it gives you more leverage when you're applying for jobs because you
Exactly.
have
On that road.
experience.
Exactly. You created it already.
Yeah. So can we talk a bit more about you know what you're trying to achieve with cyber Odin, and what kind of what kind of talent are you looking for? Like what kind of what do you look for in people that you look to hire within your company?
Okay, cool. Thank you for that question. What I'm looking for, with the vision of cyber Odin is to ensure that, um, realistically, let's say within Scotland, every organization within Scotland uses the technology, whereby people are safe, with their emails. Um, like where I'm currently, I realize that, we have a company who does something, but then it's not looking really institutional for my liking. I have a lot of concepts in my head of what I think should be done and how it should be done. So I want to say about where everyone is protected, where something that can just give you a prompt that, okay, this is suspicious. Do you want to go ahead and click it? You click it is at your own, uh,
Yeah.
it's at your own risk and all that. That kind of prompting, system where you can even preview email even before it drops,
Yeah.
previewing it and even telling you that it has high threat, something of that nature. In such a way that everyone will be safe in any organization. Maybe if people within Scotland decide to use my technology, the whole of the UK they use my technology. And on the global level, it has solved quite a lot of problems that are actually facing the world right now. Because according to the NCSA statistics, over 80% of SMEs in the UK, suffer from ransomware attacks, and from research, 10% of the market in the UK is only Microsoft who dominates that. So what about the 90%? It's a level playing ground for every other organization who probably want to come up with something of that nature. And that's why I said, okay, let's see what we can do and help solve this problem within the within the best of our ability. So yeah, that's actually where I am right now. And
Yeah.
what
So
I'm looking for people who are very enthusiastic, people who are vision driven. I recently have someone who is working on and I mean you need to see like wow, even at this level, someone is this enthusiastic and very vision oriented, and I'm like, level. Just imagine if in the next 5 years from now, or if this person has the kind of environment we have here, it means that there will be a whole lot this person would, be able to make for our own self. So yeah, I like that kind of drive. When somebody is, or when people are enthusiastic and share the same vision as you, who owns the business, and that's what employers look out for. They look out for people who have, goals that align with them. You don't have to be dragging people to work with you. You need somebody who can deliver on the job, and that's exactly what I look. Once I see
yeah,
that talent, I go for it. Like, no. And I'm also that kind of leader who also give people who work with me the opportunity to also fly, like, and create opportunities for them, that can better their life even outside what you're doing. Even if they
yeah,
choose to leave you tomorrow, but then you've left a very positive impact on their life. That's the kind
yeah,
of boss I want to be. I want to make people. I want people to say, okay, at the end of the day, this guy added value to my life as a boss, and that's one thing
yeah,
I want to do. That's my own legacy. I want to leave.
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, if you're applying to a cybersecurity staff, by the way, I don't think enough people are trying to maybe this is just my own limited view, but I think there are lots of opportunities with startups. Um, even if it's very small, very early stage startups, you can look around, see what people are doing. Like startups
Mm-hmm.
are very innovative. There's lots of interesting things going on, and you can look around and see what they are doing. Look for a startup that interests you, and offer something to them, right? Offer
Yeah,
some
that's
kind of
also
value
another
to
way.
them.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's just that nobody wants to deal with humble beginnings. It's always raw.
yeah, sometimes the startup might be small enough that they can't even pay you, or
They
maybe they
can't
can
even
pay
pay
you, but
you.
it's not, really. But I mean, at that early stage in your career, you should be more open to these
True,
kinds of opportunities. Anyway,
true,
I was
true.
speaking to um the CEO of Ikilos. It's an API security startup today, and he
Mm.
said it's a 4-year-old company, and they've given up to I think 38 internships so far.
Now look at that. Good.
Yeah,
But
so
you didn't know the value of that on people's CV on its own. That's huge.
yeah, and the experience you're getting, it's
Yeah.
it's great. So what is there? Do you have any advice for newbies, like on what you shouldn't do?
What you shouldn't do, to me in security, don't try to juggle everything. It's so broad that you really cannot know all. It's a process. It's a career path where you're learning every day. Don't try to act like you want to know everything. Relax, like calm down.
Yeah,
Even the person who is your boss is still in the learning process. Don't try to do that. Don't try to uh, overwork yourself. Enjoy the career, grow in it, explore opportunities, within the career path you want to explore, you know, because the truth is, every of the sectors within security or every of the career paths are challenging. I would not lie. Like my experience in stock, one of the things I know as is very peculiar is the mental health.
yeah,
Maybe if you're the type that you have panic attacks, you have triggers, anxiety triggers, it might not be very easy for you to do 247 stuff. Because any alert like this, you think it's a false positive, you think about your job being on the line. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to even do what I'm doing now as a startup, because it would also help people within stock, whereby people will not be coming to you every now and then and tell you, oh, this is malicious email every now and then. It can fix itself. Of course, maybe the bad guy decides to look for ways to, but then we'll look for how we update our system in such a way that we'll be able
Yeah.
to see what is going on as the latest trends and all.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think assessing the risk level is also valuable because it gives you
Yeah,
at least it gives you an idea of like how um how to prioritize the the alerts.
exactly.
So, you know,
Cool. So
that also that makes sense.
ex- exactly. You know. So yeah, I mean, for anyone who is a newbie in the career path, just take your time. Don't rush. You know. In as much as you be enthusiastic about learning, just take your time. Don't overwork yourself a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Um, Rest, take plenty of, go on holidays, like enjoy really. Network. That's something I will always tell people. Your network is your network, because on the long run, the people I've often realized that the roles I got within stock were not necessarily the I begged to apply role. They were sticky. A lot of percent, maybe after I got in, it was more of referrals, recommendations. But even
Yeah.
in the current job I am right now, there was a lady who I recommended for, you know, a software development contract within my uni. She's maybe not apply for anything. That's where the power of network and referral goes a long way. Once you grow
Yeah.
within that career, it becomes easy. So create network, like valuable network. Spend time adding value to people. You know, so within that career, I think those are some of the things I would really advise people. Most times, referrals would save you time of going through interview stages. A lot.
Yeah. That's I 100% agree with that. Um do you have any, like, if you could go back and change anything, is there anything you would do differently?
I wish I studied computer science, to be honest. Not to be honest. I wish I'd started early. I wish, like, I mean, there's this story we see on Twitter every now and then about this 17-year-old guy who's a developer. I don't know if you've seen that story. This guy,
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
you know, I mean, maybe if I'd developed or discovered that, okay, this was my thing early enough, I think I'll have gone further than where I am right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, sometimes I wonder if I was still interested, science, what would I even be doing by now? Maybe trying to get one job in Shell or something. Then it might not necessarily be as impactful as it is right now. Within a short while, the impact I have on people, I don't think I probably would have that impact if I was in that career path. This is not to say those in that career path are not thriving or doing what they need to do,
Yeah.
but then it still boils down to, being in your lane and becoming the master of your game. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I
That's
studied computer
that's
science, to be honest. I wish
yeah. Well, at the same time, I mean, who knows where you'd be right now? Maybe there'll be some opportunities that you were able to get, but if you had started earlier, you would have passed the stage of
Past it
where
exactly,
you wouldn't be able to get those opportunities.
exactly. So yeah, it is what it is, bro. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what's so some people might be feeling it's very common in any tech related field, or any someone's trying to start something new, right? Um, you might be learning, doing a course. You might be in your university learning cybersecurity. You might be learning on your own. Might be applying for jobs, and some people tend to at some point start to feel demotivated. What do you have to say to people that are feeling like that right now? Just imagine you're talking to them directly now.
Okay. Um, I don't like using the word I was once there. It has a way of messing up with people's mind because it hurts. Yeah,
Yeah,
it hurts. I would say take a break. Like, take a break, relax, leave whatever you're doing at the moment. Um, Once a door is ready to open, nothing will stop you. I strongly believe in the God factor. I believe in the philosophy of if God decides to blow your whistle, even if you are not wearing jersey, you will play more. Yeah, that sounds weird, but it's true. Provided you are
Yeah.
prepared, your preparation, the day will meet opportunity. My goodness, how far you would go will scare you. Preparation, the day preparation meets opportunity, how far you will go will scare you. So it will be good to just spend time preparing. It might be demotivating. The truth is, you might not even know what you're doing to yourself. The capacity building is giving you how you're developing yourself with all the knowledge you're gathering right now. There will always be a time. There will always be a time that it would yield very, very remarkable results. There's nobody you see today that are thriving in respect in whatever career path they find themselves, be it those that were authors, those that were preachers, those that were in one sport or the other. They had a number of times they failed, or even politics. People contested the number. But then there was also a time when they hit it and it became like a global phenomenon. So yeah, that's life. Life is life never came, or life doesn't look at something that will come very easy. It will require a level of, consistency and effort in achieving something. And in the process of trying to achieve that thing, you're actually building capacity you might not know. But there's always a day when it will pay off on the long run. So, like I said,
Yeah.
it's difficult and it's not sweet to say. I don't like using that because it gets on people's minds. And when someone says it to me, it hurts me, especially when I know they're actually enjoying certain things or having a feeling in certain areas. It looks as if you're not even emotionally intelligent enough to know what somebody's going through. So I would say,
Yeah.
if you feel overwhelmed, relax, take a break, come back to it again, but then don't stop developing. That's all I was.
Yeah. Well, that's really a good response to that question. I'm sure it will be helpful to people listening to this. Um, so how would you advise people to take advantage of you know things like courses, take the most advantage of courses or programs, especially something like Cykea?
Hmm.
How do you advise people to take most advantage of it? I mean, you're a lecturer, so you have students, you've seen people, you know how students behave when they are learning. You've seen some students that have probably, performed really well, so you know what works when people are trying to learn something. So what would you say
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. I would say people should take advantage of any learning opportunities they have. The Cisco essentials for cybersecurity. If I tell you that was the role, that was the certification I had in my CV that gave me a lecturing position, you might not believe it.
Wow.
That was just a harmless learning process I did on my own, while I was still applying for jobs at some point. I didn't even take it as anything big. But they were, oh, look at you have this. That stood me out, among others. Even though the guys were all skilled in certain areas, but in the academic environment, they would rather have somebody who understand the concept of, is it pedagogy they call it, and knows how to impart knowledge in a particular area that is of interest to them. That singular cybersecurity essentials stood me out among other bados in the game who probably knew the job so well. But they realized that at the end of the day, even though you know how to do certain things, if you don't know how to teach it, of what use is the knowledge you have. That stood me
Yeah.
out. So yeah, any learning experience you have, it's an opportunity to go to your next level. A recommendation you could get from Cykea today could change your life. You might think it's a small startup, but then the recommendation you get if you're applying if you're doing some kind of application, could take you miles ahead in the game. So there is no knowledge that is a waste. Take advantage of any opportunity to learn, develop yourself, grow. Don't stop evolving because the moment you stop learning, that's when you start dying. To be
Yeah.
honest, so it's an
Word, word, word.
yeah. The truth, So yeah, we have to keep learning.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, once you complete the cybersecurity foundations program or whatever you're doing on Cykea, um, put it on your CV.
True, true,
Put it on your
true,
CV.
true.
Uh, Yeah, from all your experience and from your perspective, is there anything I haven't asked you that you think people should need to know? People trying to get into cybersecurity, whether they're from like a tech background or another different background. What do you have to say to them that I haven't already asked?
I mean, you've literally touched on, some of the very key areas within security for people who want to delve into it. Um, I think for people who probably are not of that career path, that are tech related or computing related, who probably want to delve into it, it would be good for them to know that okay, cybersecurity is beyond just your ability to write codes and hack into systems. There is more. There is the area of understanding frameworks and policies on how to protect the environment. So that's also another area some people might find themselves good at, especially those that are legal related, who are policy related. You can carve a niche for yourself within cybersecurity or policy law or GRC or areas
Yeah,
of security that you can always find relevant. You want technical writers. Right now, that's another career path evolving. We have people who are security researchers. What their responsibility is to check, do research on latest, maybe cyber attack, latest malware, latest, they just call it one name and it becomes something that they put in the record that will make
yeah,
every organization become very careful and wary of. The truth is, a lot of threats right now that people are even yet to even research and find. So that's the career path on its own. So yeah, security engineering, like in software development now, right now, most organizations are now, I got a call one day from one, it was this week, from a company, I think it was in Czech Republic. They were looking for application security engineers or something. They wanted to see if I
yeah,
can understand Java and not just understand Java, but somebody who can infuse security in whatever Java, whatever they are building. Look at that. Look at how the world is evolving. You see how career paths are evolving. So even being a software developer does not, like you yourself, who is a developer, it doesn't change the fact that you're not going to be relevant within the cybersecurity career path. So every area of life, there's always one security affiliation you could, add to it, and it would make a meaning. So yeah, everyone should just think of what is good with what their strength is and leverage on it because it becomes easier in that way rather than trying to, delve into one area of security that you probably would struggle with.
yeah. Word. Thank you very much, Dr. Jude, for your time today. It was a really interesting conversation, really useful advice here. And I'm sure a lot of people will find it very, very useful. Thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome, sir. Pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me on board.
And so there's one more thing. It's not a question.
Oh, really?
Not like a request. Can you very enthusiastically say "Go Cykea"?
Go Cykea.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So that part